Emmanuel Sanders joins us in Denver, by the way, where they are getting a cold front that is in the minus 20, minus 30, scary stuff. So stand inside. I want to talk about Buffalo, one of the last stops of your career. You know Josh Allen well. Everybody loves him. But there is something that worries me about kind of the offensive identity is they bail on the run game, and sometimes the Chargers do this too much. They just say, hey, Josh, go be Superman. Did you feel like, that's what it looks like to me, did you feel like when you were in Buffalo, they were completely committed to running the football, or that Allen is so gifted, it is hard not to just sometimes let him do his thing?
Yeah, for me, like I feel like the Bills are committed to the run game, but then once the game gets tight and it's time for the playmakers to make plays, they're like, Josh, we need to put the ball in your hands. And playing with Josh, what really gets Josh going sometimes when he's not throwing the ball or the passing game isn't going, is him running the ball. Like Josh is one of those quarterbacks. Some quarterbacks don't like contact. Josh is one of those quarterbacks that once you start hitting me some more, I'm like, hey, let's go. Now we're playing football.
Right.
And, being with the Bills last year and watching what Josh was doing in terms of jumping over guys and trying to get the first down on third down and stuff like that, I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool, and I still think it's cool. And I think fans enjoy watching Josh play. But then, like, I'm watching it now in the game, and I'm like, and Josh is my boy, and I love him to death. I'm like, this dude is crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Dude is crazy, the way that he's jumping over, the way that he's playing football. But I love it, though, because I grew up in Texas, and I like at the quarterback position, I don't like for guys to sit in the pocket and just, I don't want to get hit out. Let's play football, let's win games, and let's have fun. Now, when you look at it, sometimes I'm kind of scared about the longevity of how long he's going to be able to play the game like that. But who cares? Let's try to win. Let's try to win a Super Bowl now. Let's try to play ball. Let's try to play football and be you. And Josh is just being him, and you got to respect people for being themselves.
So another team you played for, which I love, is the Niners. Deebo Samuel is coming back. And Deebo, like Josh Allen, probably has a shorter career because of the style he plays. But I think it's fascinating. Christian McCaffrey is such a perfect 49er. You know, he plays bigger than he's like Dwayne Wade. He plays bigger than his size his whole career. When you're part of the Niners, they are so physical. Are they that physical at practice? Do they talk about physicality? Because I swear, Emmanuel, they don't even play. They play football like the 80s. Is it talked about a lot? Is it part of the culture?
It's definitely part of the culture, and I think it starts with Kyle Shanahan and the way that he breaks it down. He wants the defense that's flying to the ball. I think Fred Warner plays a huge part in that defense and the way that I was just watching that Seahawks game and seeing those guys fly to the ball, seeing guys like Drake Greenlaw flying to the ball. It's impressive to see that defense. And then, like sometimes, with me, like they ask me, do you think the Niners can make the Super Bowl? And, a rookie quarterback has never thrown a pass in a Super Bowl, meaning that a rookie quarterback has never made it to the Super Bowl. But when you look at this Niners team and you look at the playmakers they have around, you go back and you watch Brock Purdy versus the Seahawks, and you see them giving it to Christian McCaffrey, handing the ball off, passing the ball, and then you see George Kittle running wide open on a corner route, and all of a sudden you see Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Juszczyk kind of folding and running like a little flare route, and the entire defense is shifting that way and leaving George Kittle, one of the best tight ends in the NFL, wide open. And you see this play right here. He's wide open. So when you look at this Niners team, you look at a rookie quarterback in Brock Purdy, you don't look at that. Look at the playmakers around him.
Yeah.
They're doing this without Deebo Samuel, right? They're doing this without Deebo Samuel. So when Deebo Samuel comes back, that's gonna give Kyle another toy to play with the defensive eyes. And all you need is a rookie quarterback in Brock Purdy to take care of the football and just keep playing with confidence and get the ball in the hands of the playmakers.
I got to ask you two or three different questions here. Sean Payton right now is in broadcasting. I think Sean, he comes on about every other week for us. He's fascinating. He's way too smart to be in broadcasting. So I'm like, Sean, you got to go back and coach. So there's a lot of different teams that'll have openings, but only one, the Chargers, may have an opening if they don't make the playoffs, and they have a star quarterback. Tell people, like when you had Sean, how was Sean different? You also had defense. You had Tomlin. You had McDermott. You had Staley, right? You know those guys. What is Sean Payton's secret sauce as a coach? Because I think he is going to be, it's very rare when there's a genius on the sidelines in this. But Andy Reid was, when he got let go in Philadelphia, was unemployed for about 45 minutes, and the Chiefs moved in. It's an offensive league. What does Sean Payton do that you've never seen or that's unique?
Yeah, first of all, I think Sean Payton with Justin Herbert would be special. But if Nathaniel Hackett doesn't keep his job out here in Denver, hey, Sean Payton, we'll take you out here too. We'll love to have you, man. And playing with Sean's just a real coach. He's a real coach. And I remember being in several games, and he was always ahead of the defense. He was always ahead of the defense from a play calling standpoint. And it was just phenomenal to see. Phenomenal to see. Some of my best times with Sean was just at practice, getting to know him. He's just a down to earth coach, but he understands the X's and O's of the game. But he also understands the X's. He understands his players and how to bring the best out of his players. So to see Sean Payton in L.A. with the Chargers with a guy like Justin Herbert, that would be dangerous, and that would be fun, and that would be good for the National Football League.
Now, by the way, the Chargers could win on the way out, but there are concerns in Los Angeles that right now they're underachieving. So I want to ask you about Denver and Russell Wilson. Listen, the contract, which I believe starts next year, is like $50 large a year. It's gigantic. You can't get out of it. You can start to wiggle out of it potentially in about 3.5 years from today, but for the next 3 years, it's got to work. My plan is get a veteran head coach that's an offensive coach, sell off some defensive pieces, clean that offensive lineup, kind of become the Titans. Defense, smart veteran coach, run the football, and you can win a lot of games in this league without an A quarterback. But the questions become, Emmanuel, is it Hackett or is it possible that Russell Wilson is washed, that he just doesn't have it? What do you think?
So I used to think that players make coaches. But the older and older I get, I'm starting to see that coaches make players. You look at Tua last year with Miami, and then Mike McDaniels get over there, who was with me in San Francisco, was the run game coordinator. He brings in innovative offense, got this guy going, the confidence, the person that's in his ear kind of getting him going. When I look at Russell Wilson and I see the fall off of Russell Wilson, I just can't believe that the fall off has been that tremendous. Now, when I look at Russell Wilson, I don't like to judge a man off the field, but sometimes just from the antics that's going on off the field, I'm just like, okay, what's going on mentally there? But when I see Russell Wilson as a player in Seattle and a player that was making all those plays, I just can't see the fall off. He was in the Pro Bowl last year. So for me, like, I just want to see possibly if we can get Russell Wilson in a new offensive system, will it change? They have playmakers. I was at the Nuggets game the other night with Jerry Jeudy, and he's a playmaker. Colin Cowherd a playmaker. They have playmakers. They have a good defense. For me, I just feel like the offense that Russell Wilson is in isn't a good offense for him.
That's right.
And I would like a change of that in terms of just being more innovative. It just seems like it's kind of boring, right? When I watch the Chiefs, when I watch the Bills, when I watch, even though Josh Allen is running the ball, when I watch the Dolphins, when I watch the Niners, when I watch these offenses, these innovative offenses that's playing with the defensive eyes, moving defenses, getting guys open like the Eagles and stuff like that, I don't see that from the Broncos. So for me, like, I always thought that players made coaches, but I'm starting to see that the system that you're in helps you be successful. And so I just feel like the system that Russell's in right now, even though the antics off the field kind of scare me a little bit, I just want to see him in a better system.
Yeah, it's an interest. I talked to a former player about this about a week ago, and he said, listen, Russell has a style, Hackett has a style. They don't mesh. So if you get the right style with Russell, it'll work, but this is not the guy to do it. So, and Hackett, by the way, has never been a head coach. I think you have to go get a proven head coach. Finally, we got a couple minutes. I was saying, I think Stafford's better than Goff, but Goff got blamed for all the problems in Los Angeles, and Goff, his career stats are very much in line with Stafford. Both have a Super Bowl trip. How do players view Goff? Do they think he can play?
Oh, I really didn't pay too much attention to Jared Goff. All I know is, when he lost the Super Bowl versus the Rams, sometimes, when you lose and, people got to point fingers, and I felt like, they kind of blamed it on Goff.
Right.
And you kind of took off with it. But now I see him in Detroit. They've won, 6 out of the last 7 games, and they're rolling. Detroit is not the same Detroit Lions from the past. They can rumble with anyone. And I hope that they get in the playoffs, because I want to see them. I want to see them make the playoffs and see what they can do. And I'm happy for Jared Goff. I love the way that he's playing. I saw something he said, and I'm playing the best football that I've ever played. And that goes to show that if a quarterback comes out and says that he's playing with confidence and he's figured it out from a mental standpoint, he's got some guys that's backing him. He has a head coach that's backing him, that believes in him. And he's like, I'm rolling. And it's showing, because, like I said, they've won 6 out of the last 7 games, and I'm loving it right now.
Emmanuel Sanders, NFL Network, Sunday mornings, game day morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Great seeing you, man. Congrats. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.